Anticipation is running at an all-time high for the Sierra Vista Community Theater's latest production, which starts tomorrow, Friday, February 7th, and goes through the 23rd. It is William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, and that is why we are checking in here today on this episode of Checking In with Jeff Davenport, brought to you by SSVEC, Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, serving our community. I open the door for Todd as we come inside the hallowed halls of the atrium here of the Sierra Vista Community Theater, where you end up getting your snacks, your candy, your popcorn. You go over here and when you get your tickets, because you can get your tickets now in the post-description, you just tap and you can get your tickets for Much Ado About Nothing. And then you will walk in here and you will run into none other than my friend Dave Dahl. Dave, good to see you, man. Oh,
thanks
my
for coming in,
man. Let's talk about this show here. What is your role for this production?
I am the director for Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare. And it's not your traditional Shakespeare. We are setting it in the summer of the bicentennial, 1976. It's set right around July 4th. The 70s really loans itself to Much Ado About Nothing. You have these ideas of women coming into their own strength, into their own idea. You have a romantic comedy that was sort of big during the time. You also get the flavor of the 70s where the individual becomes more important. And the show is all about our individual characters and their strengths. And also, we have a disco ball.
Which is pretty cool, right up there. It's ready to go.
And it works.
Let's talk about the cast here. How many people are in the cast for Much Ado About Nothing?
10 to 12, I think. It's 14, maybe 14.
Okay.
It's a big cast.
No, I was going to say that's quite large. And then on top of that, the tech and the backstage folks and everybody else. It's going to be like all hands on deck, basically.
It is. And a lot of plays have the fourth wall, right, where the invisible wall between actor and audience. We don't. The Shakespeare didn't. Shakespeare's company didn't. They would address the audience directly as if they were a character. So you may find characters sitting in the audience with you. You may find them talking directly to you.
Okay.
You may find them actually kind of enjoying your company. We have one character who's sort of the town sheriff, and he will definitely love a crowd. So if you also love the music of the 70s, we incorporated it throughout the entire show.
Well, we know that the crowd will be here February 7th through the 23rd at the Sierra Vista Community Theater for Much Ado About Nothing. Well, for people who are watching this and going, oh, William Shakespeare, I don't know if I can sit through all that. I mean, you said it is an updated, semi-modernized version from the 70s. Is there still a lot of language that people might not understand, or will they understand?
I don't think so. We kept the Elizabethan speech and the patterns and the verse where it happens, but we also we didn't update it a lot. We just let a few things hang, and we also did straighten it out a little bit. Like if the language is a little Yoda-like or reversed, because sometimes Shakespeare loves that. He loves putting,
speak do I?
Yeah, exactly. He loves doing that because that was just a holdover from the earlier version of English. Like Middle English loves reversing the structure. But as you get more into the Elizabethan English, it becomes more modern, what you and I are speaking, weirdly enough. Some of it also because the language was growing at the time. So it grew exponentially from the Elizabethan era. Almost, they say anywhere between 10,000 and 30,000 words came into being during that time period.
Wow. Unbelievable.
So it was just this unmitigated joy and expansion of the English language.
Well, and you will experience that joy of William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Get your tickets now in the post description. You can just scroll down, just one tap, and you will be able to get your tickets. And again, finishing this thing off, what's the excitement like right now as the director? Before we talk to some of the folks who are going to be in the show, how are you feeling about all the pre-production, all the blocking, all the hours, all the lines running again and again? How are we feeling before
I'm
showtime?
Excited. We had a preview audience last night, and their excitement for the show was, they were hollering, they were chanting, they were singing along with the songs. It was exactly what I was hoping for. This has been a compressed production. We auditioned in December, but then we took 2 weeks off because during the Christmas holiday, people leave. This is community theater. You know, I can't keep them under contract. Right. So a lot of people left, but a lot of them came and worked with me on the language and on making sure it was clear. So when we came back, we had about roughly about 4.5 weeks to put this together, and they were ready to go. This cast is wonderful. They are, they didn't bow to the pressure not once. Instead, they said, "What else you got?" Yes, and.
Nice.
So I'm really lucky to work with this cast.
Well, let's talk to some of them. Who should we talk to first?
Anyone you want.
Anyone we want. Well, I mean, you're already sitting right here, so why don't I come next to you? Tell us your name.
I'm Jack.
Jack, it's good to see you again. What is going to be your role in William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater, running February 7th through the 23rd?
I play Claudio.
Now, Claudio, for those who don't know, what is Claudio's role as far as the overall scope inside of this production?
So Claudio's story revolves a lot around his sort of new relationship with Hero, and all the drama that comes with that.
Now, what Dave was just talking about with a compressed timeline, being able to put this together, I mean, do you agree with him that the cast is really ready to go and all the preparation that you put in for this show? I mean, how excited are you?
Oh, I'm super excited. Yeah, I can't wait for the show tomorrow.
Well, and I forgot to ask you, my second question is always, name, what's your role, and how many shows have you been in here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater?
So this is my second show, actually. The first one I was in was the Addams Family musical.
Which was fantastic, by the way. It was an absolutely wonderful production, and we're looking forward to this one, too. And anything that you picked up on, maybe from the production on Wednesday last night, from the test audience that maybe you all can think of, or is there any changes, or did everything go really, really smooth as you would hope?
Oh, it went really smooth. It was definitely our best performance yet, and I'm sure our one on Friday will be even better.
I can't wait. Opening night coming this Friday, tomorrow night, as this video is live right now. You're ready to go, right?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Well, why don't I have you go right over here, and I'll come over here. You're amazing, Jack. Thank you. What is your name?
I'm Basil.
I'm Basil. It's good to see you. How many shows have you been in here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater?
1, 2, 3.
No pressure. When you got to use your hands to count, I think
a lot.
Okay, a lot. I think that's a good way.
I practically
to
live
say it.
here.
This chair is so nice and warm. Thank you for warming it up for me. So Basil, what is your role in Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing 70s version here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater?
I play Benedict. He's this really confident guy who he's just he's friends with Claudio, and he's got this rivalry with this girl Beatrice, you see, and every time they see each other, they just can't help but insult each other constantly. And so some of his friends come up with a bit of a scheme to maybe try to get them to maybe stop fighting and maybe kiss a little. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Now, insulting each other, is that something that comes naturally to you, or is that something that you really had to work on?
So me and my friends will sometimes playfully joke with each other. But I don't know. I guess I
Well, I mean, when you inhabit a role like this, will you be speaking with the Old English affect, or is it more about the 1970s style of speech?
So we're still using a lot of the original language, but with more of a, I guess, modern tonality, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So none of this over stuffy, hard to understand, flat intonation. We're talking like people. We're just saying words slightly differently than you're used to. But overall, the meaning comes out in the way you move and the way you talk and your tone,
That's fantastic. And we can't wait to see you do it right on this very stage here, starting tomorrow night for opening night here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater of Much Ado About Nothing. They're still putting up the props here. You can't see because she's behind a shield there, but great to see you again. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
My name's Dan.
Dan the man. Good to see you.
You too,
and
Jeff.
how many shows have you been in here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater? Are you looking at lots as well, or do you actually have a number?
I think this is about 4.
That's
I started about a year ago.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
I mean, how time flies when you've been here a year and seeing this and watching this thing come together just over the past year. I think there's been tremendous growth. And what does it mean to you to know that the Sierra Vista Community Theater can go from comedy, dramedy to Shakespeare, just kind of throwing everything at our community and how the community responds to it in turn?
It's been fantastic. And as Dave said, whether you're a Shakespeare fan or not, you're going to love this production. The crew has totally come together. Even if you don't understand every single word, you will get the concepts. You will find it hysterical. I've never worked with a crew, I think, that gelled together quite like this one did.
And especially looking at that short timeline, like what Dave talked about, knowing that this was condensed, and again, a large cast. I mean, it seems like all hands are going to be on deck for this production, but watching it all come together over the last several weeks. And how did you feel for the test audience last night?
I felt great. It was just great to see that the hard work everyone from Dave to every cast member put out, and to see that come together. And for a relatively small test audience, the laughter was terrific. It just made everything worth it.
So that engagement is going to be something really important with this production. I forgot to ask you, what role are you playing, and what is that role's effect on the overall production of Much Ado About Nothing?
I'm playing the role of Conrad, and I seem to be a loyal but just slightly clueless and always caught up in someone else's problem, and just always trying to figure out a way out of a mess I really wasn't responsible for.
Of course you weren't responsible for it. Now, that's super exciting, and we're really looking forward to this. I mean, knowing that this is your fourth show, any jitters for opening night anymore, or is it just more about just wanting to get out there and entertain?
Right now, I think all of us are just super determined to get out there and entertain, and yesterday's test audience was just a great feeling that, hey, you know what, this is working.
And you can see it work when you purchase your tickets in the post description. You can just go through there, tap that one tap to getting your tickets for Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater. I'm going to switch seats with you. I'm going to come over here. Mike, introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Mike Buck. Been here for a long time too.
I was going to say, man, how many shows is this for you? Does the Shakespeare
too many to count on fingers? So.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Because not only are you on stage, but you've done a lot of tech side as well. Talk to me about the tech side. How important is that to a show like this?
Well, it's incredibly important for a show like this, because when you think about things like trying to incorporate something that someone can digest, if you take something like the 70s and the pop culture of the 70s, then people will go, oh, I recognize that song. Oh, I've danced to that in the shower before. And then it just makes the rest of what they're hearing instantly soak up into their brain, and then they get immersed into the experience. And then the lights going off, all the funk going on. It's just a good time.
And by the way, what role are you playing, and what is their effect overall on William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing?
I am playing the Prince, Don Pedro, who is a prankster of a prince, who is the individual who kind of is the catalyst of these two individuals falling in love through a gaslighting prank.
See, gaslighting, even back in William Shakespeare's time, I mean, that was a term that I didn't really understand was a thing, until it was in that movie. I know Dave remembers the movie. Wasn't it called Gaslight?
Yes, it was.
But we'll talk to you about that in a second before we wrap this thing up. But I mean, being able to take something old, make it new. And again, because you've been a part of so many different productions here, what's it like seeing the flexibility of the actors, the crew, the entire team here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater to be able to put together such a variety of shows for the greater Sierra Vista community?
Well, I've spoken in the past about just how excellent we are in the ability to bring talent to Sierra Vista. Like, people may not associate Sierra Vista immediately with theatrical talent, but there's a lot of talent that packs this place, and people always leave surprised and go, man, that actor was really great. That actress just blew my mind. And so what's interesting is you can take a play like a musical and get a lot of people in a long time to go through that. But when you take a 4-week kind of rehearsal process, you bring in a lot of new people who just have that inkling of desire to learn about Shakespeare. And then with someone like Dave just being behind the entire thing and pushing that train through, and then having them learn and love and appreciate that language and just become a better actor and a better part of the community overall. It's just so interesting to see when people get to do that with something that's been around for hundreds of years. Yes,
that's right. It has been around hundreds of years, but the train will be on the track starting tomorrow night for opening night of William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing right here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater. Thanks so much, Mike. We'll finish off with the man who's actually, let's come up here and talk to the tech crew here. I mean, look, the design crew, here, I'll come down here.
Thank you.
Go ahead and introduce
Thank you.
yourself. What is your name?
Jenny Norwood, a master carpenter.
A master carpenter here, putting this set together. Is this looking at the set right now as it is this the only set that will be up for the entire show, or will there be changes that happen throughout the show?
No, there's some chairs move, but that's really it. This is just a stationary set that the actors just move back and forth. And there's a lot of blocking, so there's a lot of movement. So it's really, really interesting to watch.
And that's something that a lot of people maybe don't realize, is that these sets are all built specifically and uniquely for each production.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So in 3 weeks when this is done, this lovely will break down. And actually, we're going to reuse several of these pieces for the kids show coming up.
Oh, that's right.
So yeah, so Percy Jackson's coming. So several of these pieces you'll see.
So being a master carpenter for this show and overall, I mean, do you help oversee some of the carpentry for all of it? Or?
Yes, okay. I'm the master carpenter, which means I oversee all of the builds.
Okay.
So I can have somebody under me called a master builder who might be the one that's leading this, but I oversee to make sure that it's done well and properly. We have the proper materials, change directions if something isn't going to work, find solutions to unique problems. So, it's a really cool, it's like being a builder of just creativeness. Like the people come and I go, what do you want? I see if I can give it to you. So
now, having that side of the creativity, that's something maybe some people take for granted. They see the actors, of course, they see the sets, but the sets maybe get taken for granted because the focus is the actors. The focus is the spoken word or the singing in a musical, vice versa. But looking at the set is what creates the scene for that theater of the mind that people see, right?
Yeah. So we, the director works with the set designer. The set designer is the one that comes up with this. This was Mia's vision. And all I do is take Mia's vision and figure out how to bring it to life.
Of course, it was Mia's vision.
I know it's Mia. She's wonderful, but,
she's the best.
Yeah, she's wonderful. So,
shout out to Mia.
Yeah, for real. So this is her vision. So I just work with her and try to figure out how to, one, stay in budget. Cause that's, how do we make magic happen on a very tight budget? So, so it's everyone is completely unique. So,
well, and
that's what makes it really fun.
Well, thank you for showing us here. I mean, just,
absolutely.
let us talk to you here because this is part of the magic.
Welcome to the jungle.
That's right.
To the patio.
We got fun and games, Honey, we know the names. But, looking at the set like this, we know that there's so much that goes into it, but it does take an audience. It takes that community to come out to the Sierra Vista Community Theater. And before we go, Dave, I mean, you're a man who has forgotten more about theater than I will ever know. So how about a little pop quiz about William Shakespeare?
Sure.
William Shakespeare and Valentines. He actually mentions the word Valentine in 2 of his productions. Can you name one or both?
It's one of the leading men in 2 Gentlemen of Verona.
Uh-huh.
It's Proteus and Valentine are the 2. And I can't off the top of my head remember the other one right now, but you see it. There's also a sonnet that deals with Valentines. It's in the heading, but it's not in the sonnet itself.
Midsummer Night's Dream was also one.
Oh no, Valentine is in Twelfth Night.
Yeah.
He's one of Orsino's courtiers.
And Midsummer Night's Dream, and believe it or not, Hamlet mentions in one of those acts. I'll shoot you a text. You can see.
There's a song. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day. Ophelia sings it during the mad scene.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Even back then. Look, I told you, you've forgotten more than I will ever know. Dave, wrap this thing up, man. What's the best way to tell people to come on out and enjoy this production? Another production here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater starting tomorrow, Friday.
Please come out. Bring your boogie shoes. Dance. You're welcome to dance in your seat as you listen to some of the songs. There's a party scene where we actually play some ABBA. So if you're feeling a little nostalgic or you're really interested in the music and the time and the language of Shakespeare, come and join us. Even if you're new to it, come and join us anyway. I think you'll really enjoy it.
If you have never been to the Sierra Vista Community Theater here inside the mall at Sierra Vista, I know you've been in the mall at Sierra Vista, walking up and down the hallway here. You see that sign. You gotta stop by. You gotta see one of their amazing productions, and why not start? If you've never been here before, start with William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, playing here from the 7th to the 23rd. Again, the details for buying the tickets are in the post description. Just open it up there. One tap will take you there, and you can purchase tickets. Of course, follow the Sierra Vista Community Theater Theater. Help support the arts in any way you can. That's a great way to do it. Just give them a follow, and you can see their Facebook page in the post description as well. Thank you guys for letting us check in with you today. Absolutely awesome. And thank you for watching this episode of Checking In with Jeff Davenport, brought to you by SSVEC, Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, serving our community. As the man just said, get your dancing shoes on. Get ready for the bicentennial version of William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Got the disco ball right over Todd's head right now. That's going to be ready to rock and roll. You will be ready to dance, ready to laugh, ready to have a great old time right here at the Sierra Vista Community Theater, the 7th through the 23rd for William Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. Again, support the arts. Do us a favor, share this video around, tag your friends and family who you want to come to this show with, and enjoy the experience of Shakespeare in a modernized version, and see this entire cast, these amazing faces here. You will see them on this stage, and you will be blown away by their talent and skill and what they're able to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great night. We'll check in with you again later on. Big round of applause, everybody. Woo! Yay! Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing.